Have you ever wondered why, despite how badly you want to change your life, you struggle to take the necessary action, or at least do it consistently? If so, it might even feel like you have a mental barrier that's preventing you from being the man that you want to become. Well, in this video, we're going to get into the dark truth about your brain and how it's actually programmed to make you lose. And more importantly, we're going to talk about the easy fix to this problem. But before we get into that, make sure to absolutely destroy the like button and subscribe so that we can improve the lives of more people. And as a quick reminder, we have a brand new video being released every day at 10 a.m. So hit that bell notification button below. Now, let's get into it. So, if you're like most people, you've probably declared to yourself that you're gonna work out consistently so that you can get a body that you feel more comfortable in. Or that you'd eat healthy so that you'd feel better physically and mentally. Or that you'd be productive every single day so that you can hit your goals and become deeply fulfilled and light up like a Christmas tree. Well, if so, let me guess what happened. You probably started off super strong and were doing whatever it is that you told yourself you'd do. And in these few days, you were just feeling amazing about yourself. You felt like you're on top of the world, and you felt like you're in control of your life. Until one day, you weren't motivated or you got tired. So you told yourself that you've been doing a great job and that you deserve a day off. And then what happened again was tomorrow you fell into that same cycle where you took one more day off and you took another day off until you landed back where you started with no results to show for your hard efforts. In fact, you might feel like something is wrong with you. But the reality is that couldn't be further from the truth. You see, you're just using a broken formula, which is why you haven't gotten the results that you want. But it's not your fault. It's the motivational industry. They keep feeding us lies and saying that in order to change our lives, all we need is more willpower and motivation. But when has that ever produced the change you want in your life? Did it work last New Year's when you were super motivated? No. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here watching this video right now, right? So, what's the correct formula to follow if you want to get real and substantial change in your life? It is programming your brain for success, or what we call acquiring the mind of a conqueror. But let me tell you how I discovered this ancient psychological secret. And more importantly, let me explain why I know that if you use this same secret, it will finally get you the change in your life that you deeply crave. You see, when I was 21 years old, I was stabbed in the throat, arm, and chest with a chef knife while at a movie theater. And I was left on the floor to die. But instead, I woke up 7 days later from an induced coma. Now, I was living off tubes. Like, if you unplug those tubes, you literally unplugged my life. And don't get me wrong, I was grateful to be alive, but it felt like I lost all sense of who I was. My energy was depleted, like a lake in the summer. In fact, I couldn't even eat a meal without napping. Like, I'd get so tired, halfway through my meal, I'd literally have to nap. I mean, imagine that you're eating breakfast and literally you have to stop halfway through just to nap. Right where you're eating, you stop and nap, and then you wake up and eat again. That was me. That was my life. And on top of it, I just wasn't in the best mood. I wasn't in that mood where I could joke around with my friends too much because my mind, it was always clouded. In fact, doing a simple equation like 12 times 12, it burned through my mental fortitude. It was almost like something wasn't fully clicked in my mind or brain, almost like it wasn't firing on all cylinders. But even worse than that, my confidence. It disappeared like a quarter in a magic show, and my head was plagued with negative thoughts and self-doubt. I was left asking myself, am I ever going to get back to a functional state where I feel good about myself, or where I can even function like a normal human being? Or am I destined for a life of mediocrity, where my potential, it rots away with my ambitions? Now, I spent the next few weeks contemplating these questions, and ultimately, I decided I was not going to go down like this. Then that's when I started to get my life back on track. I told myself that I'd eat healthy, I'd work out, so that I could rebuild my strength. But you probably guess what happened. I kept falling off my word, which made me feel disgusted with myself. I mean, what man says he'll do something but can't even keep his own promise to himself? It felt like I was just in this deep hole that I dug myself into, that no matter how badly I wanted to escape, I couldn't. But that's when I decided, I kind of looked at my life and took a step back. And that's when I realized that in order to make substantial change in my actions, behaviors, and life, I need to learn how the human brain works. So I started studying brain science and transformational psychology. I studied high performers and people that were as disciplined as monks. That's when I realized that all the superachievers around the world, they're doing what most people aren't doing, which is why they have a life that most people don't have. You see, the average person uses their conscious mind, but these superstars, they use their subconscious mind. Now, according to Professor Gerald Zaltman of Harvard Business School, 95% of our thoughts and behaviors, they're controlled by our subconscious. Let me break it down. So, have you ever driven home, but you zoned out for like 5 to 10 minutes? And then all of a sudden you pull up at your destination and you're like, how the heck did I get here? I wasn't consciously driving. And you're right, you weren't. But your subconscious mind took over. It's been conditioned to guide you along the way. Every word and event that you're exposed to, everything you think in your head, and every action you take is gradually molding your subconscious. Yet, there's a very dark side to this. In fact, research from Boston University discovered there's stimuli in our environment that influence you without you even being aware. That means your environment is silently programming your subconscious to work against you. And as New York Times bestseller author Gary Bishop states, you are wired to win. However, your life at this very moment is exactly how it is because of your subconscious mind. It's guided you to this situation. And it's not your fault that you haven't achieved your goals. Your environment has sabotaged you for failure. And to make matters worse, you have the motivational industry guiding you down the wrong path. The wrong path that just keeps you stuck, They keep telling you need more willpower and motivation. So you have your subconscious mind guiding you the wrong way, and the motivational industry feeding you lies. But as you just discovered, it's the sneaky invisible enemies that are poisoning your mind. I mean, just take a look at lottery winners. One example was Jack, I think his last name was Whitaker, but he won like around 160 million in the lottery. You'd think he'd be set for life, right? Well, unfortunately, he made a series of poor investments until he burned through every cent that he won. Now, this happened because his subconscious mind was navigating him back into his old self-sabotaging patterns. In fact, according to the National Endowment for Financial Education, I think that's the right title here, about 70% of the people who win a lottery or receive a large windfall of money, well, they end up going bankrupt within a few years. Now, it wasn't until I tapped into the power of our subconscious mind that I finally got my life together, I started sticking to my word effortlessly. I began working out and strengthening not only my body, but also my mind. And I started cooking meals for myself every day. And this momentum, it started showing in all areas of my life. It was like something finally clicked in my brain. Simply put, this is when I realized that I acquired the mind of a conqueror. Now fast forward 4 years, and here I am in front of you in this exact moment, and I'm running a business around my passion. I get to build ambitious men like you into conquerors who feel comfortable in their own skin and take what they want in life. The moral of the story is that if you want to take absolute control of your life so that you're proud of who you see in the mirror and the man you've become, then you have to acquire the mind of a conqueror. You have to delete all this negative stimuli that's programming your subconscious for failure. But how do you do that? Well, basically you have two options. So we have a lot of free content on here on how to acquire the mind of a conqueror, and you can go through it all and piece it all together like a puzzle. Or if you want to streamline your results and frankly your life, you can check out our 7-day challenge to acquire the mind of a conqueror. Now, keep in mind, we have students, they're coming in here, they're battling crippling anxiety and depression to the point where they don't even want to talk to people because they're always so wrapped up in their own problems. But after undergoing our challenge, they're striking up conversations with strangers because they have so much more confidence and self-belief in themselves. In fact, one of our students, Steven, he started his own business, and within 3 months, it's already wildly profitable. Now look, you guys can check out the challenge below. And again, if it's not for you, no problem. I'm just glad you're here watching this video. But with that being said, can you please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe? As I mentioned, my entire purpose in life is to build an army of conquerors. And when you like this video and you subscribe, it helps the algorithm put this video in front of more people so that we can improve their lives. I can't do this without you. You're as much of this community as I am. And lastly, I want to hear from you. What's a goal of yours that you've been trying to hit for years but haven't been able to get there yet, or you haven't been able to accomplish yet? Let me know in the comments below.